This is Rafik Luzon, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk. Welcome back to another episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafik Luzon alongside Kareem Tyson Reemo from
Reemo
C.U.T.S.
Meerak. What up,
Welcome
man?
to welcome once again. Like your
Hey,
fifth appearance on the show now?
I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
That's
I
not
think,
we don't count the ones that didn't get posted for some reasons, but yeah.
okay. Now,
But
what's up, man? How you
yeah.
doing? How you
Let's
doing,
just
man?
talk about what you've been up to ever since the last time.
I think the last time when I was on, still with the acting, Cuts podcast, Culture, Urban Technology, and Sports. I think around that time, the last time I was on, I think that was the
That was around the time when the Knicks won a playoff run in the Eastern Conference Finals.
yeah.
That
So that
were
was
getting
probably
taken out by the Indiana Pacers.
yeah. So that was definitely what season because I'm in season 8 right now of the podcast. So I think that was season 7. That season 7 was an interesting season. I'm not gonna lie. I want to say figures wise what I had on, and then also too, shout out to Gotham Production Studios. Just a blessing of me signing the contract with them to have a stable studio. As you know, as a creator yourself, you know the challenges with that when it comes to having a stable studio and stuff like that. I mean, there's challenges with that. There's a lot of challenges with that. So, I was blessed to have that. I was blessed to have that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Come about. And that came around I want to say mid, what, second quarter of last year. So definitely, shout out to, like I said, again, shout out to Gotham Production Studios, the Gotham Network, for adding me on to their roster and just overall, just with their backing and their help and support as far as production wise, and just I just come in and do what I do, being Remo Meerak, and have the quality conversations with the figures that come onto the show.
I'm glad you're doing that, and I'm glad you continue doing everything you do. And I mean, geez, but you've interviewed some interesting people.
Yes, yes, yes. Definitely. For season 7, definitely with Chef Cream. Shout out to Baby Flight. Niaja Chanel, that was a dope conversation. Who else during that season that was fire? Um, oh my God, this is what happens when you're in your mid 40s. But no,
You look young enough to be 35. Stop it. I'm kidding.
no, I appreciate it, but no, I mean, once again, with Cuts podcast, that's my second child, even though my first child was Reem TV. But as far as like the one that I really stick to with Cuts. I mean, I love how it comes about, and then just overall, what the conversations come about on that platform. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like entertaining talking shop, but in the same token, you hear the journeys of different people. You know what I'm saying? And also to artists too as well. But it's just a variety of people that just come onto the platform. I'm just blessed, to have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a blessing. I mean, you got to make sure you get any interviews you can. I mean, now obviously, I think we know what the interview you had with Kelly G. I mean, I was supposed to interview her, but I got kind of got ghosted. I never heard from her, but whatever.
Yeah, Kelly G, yeah, she was the previous season. That was actually I caught her I want to say, and I mean obviously she's on a tremendous run by far. She's on a ill hot streak. But I caught her basically I want to say like a little bit after I know her and I were on a panel, and I lucked out, you know what I'm saying? Like, she could have told me no, you know what I'm saying? But she told me yes. And we had a great episode, you know what I'm saying? Even though we was getting that, relationship podcast and stuff like that. But overall, it's just the fun and it's both of our energies, you know what I'm saying, into that podcast, into that episode was like an amazing episode, you know what I'm saying? And to go to tell all other content creators or ones that have platforms, don't give up. I mean, it comes with it's the belly of the beast, it's the nature of what we do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. There's people that have hit me up. Yeah, Remo, I want to come onto the podcast. I want to come to the platform. Cool. We set it up and everything, and then it depends, the finding hour or day before or a couple days before, you know what I'm saying? Something comes up, right? you got to reschedule or whatever have you. But then, again, it's up to you, you know what I'm saying, or what you want and need to do with your platform. So, you know what I'm saying? So don't ever, don't get discouraged, but it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This is what the entertainment biz is. You're gonna see that person again, time and time again, and who knows what's gonna happen when you get to that level. Whatever level you get to, that's the thing with me always I found interesting with my career is that each time something didn't happen or somebody didn't come through, but then once I got to that next level, it got easier. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants the opportunities fair, but in this game, in this industry, you learn to weave around those things and navigate, and then from there, it's about what are you going to do going forward. You know what I'm saying? That's the key thing about me. I do my best to make sure to not lose the goal at hand and really just stick to going forward.
Yeah, I ain't mad about that. And you know what? Lots of people talk about rejections from the professional level of radio, TV, and print, but not enough people talk about how possible it is to get laid out or kicked out of a student-run campus TV, radio, and newspaper. And and,
Yeah.
and all I gotta say is, where's your advice for any current college student that gets removed, kicked out of campus TV, radio, and prints?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, because see, the funny thing about my career is I never went through that route. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard for me to have something against it, but I will say it's inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Definitely make sure you keep your clips. I mean, we're in an era where content is key, and even um bolstering your resume is key as far as like content wise. So the best advice I could say on that is, do the best you can to obtain or store, what you did at that college campus or college radio, and then from there, edit, splice it up, put it together, so for real that if you want to go to a radio station or for that matter, um, just continue off with your platform. I think we're in an era right now, those things. Hold on for a minute, 'cause I'm here at my place. I got my plug right here. Perfect. That's the that's the greatness of doing content and everything remotely when you're at your place. No, but what I'm saying is, don't get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, and you yourself, and even you, Rafiq. I mean, you tremendously work hard, man. You know what I'm saying? And you be moving and grooving. I be seeing you in the spots. We be in the same places. You know what I'm saying? So you're not far off, or for that matter, because you don't have the stable place to do your content. I think that's key. You know what I'm saying? As I stated before, I lucked out, last year with Gotham Production Studios to have a stable place to do my platform. And I think for those that are in like college radio and everything like that, just take heed of the moment at hand, and then also to do your best to, like I said, obtain the content. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, where if this is like 15 years ago, I would see, you know, the gripe, or for that matter, the worry in that, right? But in the same token, things are different now. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you get your content, I mean, that's the best thing I could tell future college journalists or college radio figures or college media figures that go through that route in college radio. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you obtain your content. So that way, you could still keep up your brand, and also to still market it and push it out. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. I mean, with everybody be complaining about social media and how you post everything. I just had a meeting the other day with a colleague at the studio. We had a great conversation, and check-in about planning and everything like that. And one thing she had let me know was, don't be afraid to repost, your clips again and again, because you never know. If you repost them 5 times, right? You never know, that fourth or fifth time, or that second time, that may be the clip that goes viral or hits. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, to those that are in college radio, in that realm, don't don't lose sight of the goal. You know what I'm saying? Or don't get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? Still, maintain, your content. So push, what you have and go forward.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that is helpful because you never know when you're going to be allowed back in the near future.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Always, any guest appearance, I always make sure the key thing I always push. Relationships are key. You know what I'm saying? Relationships are highly key always in this industry. That's the one thing I could say, regardless of what fame one has, or for that matter, what position one is in, or deemed as, oh well, you're not in this spot, or you're not, hold on, let me take my glasses off because I think there we go. You're not, one is deemed as they're not on this level or whatever have you. But if you're one that you're consistently building, and you're building those relationships, the relationships is key. I don't care what nobody says. Anybody that's in this industry, and this, hold on, there we go. Trying to get this lighting in here. Jesus, man. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm big on I'm big on production and just, with lighting and everything like that. Hold on. Think I got it. Good. There we go. Right there. Perfect. All right. It's key. You know what I'm saying? It's key to maintain consistency and also to build the relationships. I could say for within my career, for things that I've gotten, you know what I'm saying? Things that I was like reluctant to have. The one caveat was the relationships. The relationships that were built. That was extremely key. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those relationships like that led to you doing everything you do recently. Not only have you done your podcast for like your seventh season, now your eighth season, that you also had to do shows with 1-2 combo. Pretty good, pretty phenomenal job right away with the work you've done with them. With Nikki Avery, and you had your podcast at WTF Studios
Yes. Yeah.
recently, and
No.
then
Yeah.
also at 2040 and the 2040 York podcast is setting that they've had at 2040 York, the Hudson Yard store. So yeah, 2040 York, they have a pretty good sports music and pop culture brand, and I should know because I keep one of the teachers in my house.
Yeah, no, nah. Shouts to Combo. Despite we haven't done things in a while, but shout out to him. Shout out to him, Nikki Avery. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rock. During those moments were dope. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget those moments. Unfortunately, it was differences in creativity and everything like that, but I'll never be one to be like bitter or hold anything against anybody. Nah, they're doing their thing, and also too, being part of that platform. You know what I'm saying? At that time, that led to me, Remo being in more sports spaces and everything like that, and also too with the House of Highlights. You know what I'm saying? That was key.
That
You
was
know
a
what I'm
strong debate. I mean, yeah, you would think you're watching it. I wouldn't think I'm watching ESPN for a sake, but it's you debate with a Red Sox fan trying to
Oh
educate
man,
their
shout out to
team.
Mark. Yo, but that dude is dope though. Nah, shout out to Mark Lewis, man.
Yeah, he's a good content creator for the Boston
Oh
Red
my
Sox.
God,
And you
his
got
his
to be
content is off the
in the
charts.
same screen with Keith Pearson, the other young lady who works for House Highlights, by the way. I think her name is Caroline.
Yes, yeah,
Caroline.
yeah.
Yeah,
Keith,
those are
Keith.
pretty. Those are that's a pretty good space view there. And then also you debate with a Kevin Durant fan. I love that. I love that comeback when you said where is Kevin Durant's national championship when he was a freshman in college. What when you said that, you cleaned him up right there. You
Shout out to that dude. Yo, you know what's crazy? Yo, let's speak about that. All right, and House of Highlights, please don't hold it against me. The crazy part, what went down with that, right? I was a last call on that particular episode. My original episode was supposed to be the Red Sox, the Red Sox fan, Red Sox fan versus the 10 Yankee fans, right? So shout out to Lauren. She had hit me up. You know what I'm saying? She hit me up and she was like, "Hey Remo, are you around or close by?" So shockingly, I was in the city. This is like, and to bring everything together, this is like I was in transition of moving to Jersey. So long story short, I had stayed in New York downtown for like a little bit or whatever, and then I transitioned out to Jersey. But long story short, she hit me. So she told me what it was. Now, mind you, I'm a Kevin Durant fan, right?
Mm.
I'm a Kevin Durant fan. So when she's telling me about this shoot, and I'm like, damn, all right. And I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, even though I'm going in tomorrow to do Yankee version, but I wanted to get a feel of this thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it. All right, Lauren, bet I got you. I said, but Lauren, I think I was like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I woke up, I was up already, and I was going to Target. Oh, I was going to Target to get something like breakfast and like deodorant and some shit like, oh, excuse me, the deodorant or something like that or whatever, right? So as I'm walking, I'm talking, I think I'm walking, I'm talking with Lauren, I'm looking down and I got my KDs on. And I'm like, oh, I was like, damn. I was like, all right, Lauren, hold on. I gotta go back to the hotel or whatever. I gotta change my sneakers. And then I'll head over there or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand, all right, how can I explain it with this platform? I don't want to give out, I'm big on production and not giving out things or anything that matters. So it's basically like civilized sports art, sports debating that would happen in a bar, right? But it's controlled and it's like civilized and entertaining in a way, if that makes sense, right?
Hmm?
So me being who I am, and yeah, a lot of y'all know I'm boisterous, I'm animated, you know, I'm sarcastic, I'm witty. I'll say I'm dark humorous or whatever, but I'm also a protagonist. No, antagonist, excuse me. I'm also an antagonist. So I know certain things. If I say something or whatever, I know how to, push people's buttons or whatever have you. So when it came to that, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I really had to get in my acting bag because I'm a Kevin Durant fan. So it's like anytime I had gotten up and had to go talk to this guy, I had to really get in the acting bag because I'm not gonna lie, he was like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's like you're talking to a mirror, but you're ignoring the image. So I'm hearing him and everything he was saying was like spot on with Kevin Durant. And I'm just like, but then again, the judges, they were the way they were judging it, if you look at the episode, the way they were judging, it was like, yeah, we don't give a F about that, about the analytics. We don't care. So I was like, once I heard that energy, I was, oh, what's up? I'm like, screw it, it's up. I'm going for the gusto. I'm going for the jugular. Screw it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like this. I'm just if you look at my energy, I'm just like, all right, screw it. I'm going for it. I'm going for the gusto. So each of those shoots, that's just the energy I was bringing. I was bringing like that bar arguey, hype, animated. And I'm thinking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, just just going into it. I'm just going. So, you know what I'm saying? So, and then what was shocking was like watching it. I'm watching myself. I'm just like, I'm laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, like, oof, all right. Mm. And then you read the comments. Comments were funny, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, it was a good experience overall. You know what I'm saying? I hope I could be on again someday in 2026. Who knows? But yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I watched the episodes like a million more times than I could count because those episodes were funny. I'm sorry. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to get you on the show to talk about that experience because you
Yeah,
being with a Kevin Durant fan, a Red Sox fan, I mean, you got your
yeah.
acting bag. I thought you do a phenomenal job.
No,
I
thank you,
mean,
man. No, and
seriously. And yeah, you schooled them saying Michael Jordan's a better USA basketball player than Kevin Durant despite the gold medals. Yeah.
oh yeah, no. I mean, I'll say this, yo. I'm not gonna lie. Even with that, right? Because, like I said again, if you look at it, I'm fighting laughter. I'm fighting a lot of emotions. I'm fighting laughter. I'm fighting that I'm a Kevin Durant fan. And I'm like, yo, I gotta bring it to this guy. Like, I don't care what it is, I gotta bring something. I gotta bring something to this guy. I gotta throw this guy off one way or another. So even the one, even I think the clip where I made him put his Jordan on the table, like that shit, yo, that joy had me crying. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, I can't believe this guy is really doing this. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even on the side, when I go to the side and you gotta wait or whatever, I'm really like calculating, like, all right. what can I do to throw this guy off? What's the next thing? I'm like, this guy's bringing the pain about Kevin Durant. I'm like, damn. And I'm a Kevin Durant fan. I'm like, ah, all right. And even afterwards, and what's crazy, and not to talk about a lot about what happened afterwards. Even I went to him, I let him know. And he gave, and he was like, "Yo, you serious, bro?" I'm like, yo, and I gave him his props and everything. And the same thing with Mark. Mark too, the same thing. Mark, shouts to him during the Red Sox one. Like I said again, I'm over there. I'm you know how it is about Yankee fans and Red Sox fans. You know how that goes. You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm bringing the pain. I'm bringing that New York swag, that Harlem swag, and I'm just like, yo, bro, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about your town. Nobody cares about David Portnoy. Like, nobody cares about One Taste Pizza. Like, nobody cares about that. This is New York. You know what I'm saying? So I think I even messed up David Portnoy's name. Oh my God, yo, that was in my career of like anything like acting or being on TV shows. I'll say that right there is on my tops. If I had to rate, the appearances I made, that was definitely my tops. Like being on there and the fun I had. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget that experience. That experience was crazy.
I'll never forget that. And hopefully you can get your debate back because we in the middle of the NBA season halfway through. The All
Mhm.
Star weekend happened, and yeah, it's slightly improved, but I mean, there was at least the first three games were pretty close, but the championship game where USA where the USA team managed to beat Stripes, yeah, that was
Yeah,
completely one sided.
I don't know. I don't know. I think this is like I don't know about you. I think for me, I know this is like the first NBA weekend. I just was not interested. Like just straight up not. I mean, yeah, it had some highs, but I just was straight up not interested. I'll keep it a
Yeah,
buck. I'll keep it a buck. I was Netflixing and chilling in here.
I was on my phone when I was watching this happen. I mean, don't get me wrong, because I ain't seen the Knicks wins to win the Shooting Stars Challenge,
Right, that was dope.
and yeah, it was nice to see LeBron and Kawhi Leonard carry stripes for 2 games until he got obliterated in the fourth game. But yeah, that it was at best. It was definitely
Right.
better than the last two All Star games because all the people that debate about these All Star weekends know shows that it's not enough defense. And
Mm,
they're just playing for. They feel like they're just playing for cred.
yeah. You know what it is? I think what we have to understand is we've seen so much with the NBA All-Star weekends. You know what I'm saying? Somebody made a good point about that. Also too, with the dunk contest, it's like how much can one expect? You know what I'm saying? Because we're in the era we in right now with technology. You know what I'm saying? You've seen every single solitary dunk.
You see it all, you done it all, and yeah, the botched dunk attempts really devalue your enjoyment of the dunk contest in the past few years.
Yeah, and also too, I know Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter had a great conversation with their new platform, Cousins. Um, Tracy McGrady was like, "Yo, maybe we should bring the content created dunkers into NBA." And it's like Vince was like, "Yeah, no, I don't know." My thing with that is, see, now you're gonna dilute things. You know what I'm saying? And the league says it's such a global entity and a global sport. You know what I'm saying? How do you balance it now? You know what I'm saying? Because what are you telling the fans now? The fans, what are we saying about the product itself? Is that you know they're not the greatest athletes in the world? You know what I'm saying? In regards to that, so I don't know. I mean, taking away the dunk contest. I mean, we tried that before. It was like, all right, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But then we brought the dunk contest back, right? I don't know. I don't know what's gonna take. I know All Star. I mean, this format that we did, it was cool, but honestly, let's just bring it back to the original East versus West. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, good.
If they do bring that, you probably hopefully when they bring it back, we see as many close games we did the first two because I feel like the teams just showed much effort. And well, even with the end results, both players are like saying, "Oh, you could have a layup, you could have a three. I'm not going to guard you. You can get your points. You can get your points." Everything's just so passive now these days. Like,
Well, you understand these players make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? These players make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of amenities they have, a lot of, you know, what's the word I'm thinking about? A lot of benefits, so to compare to like back in the days it was different merit, changing the guard, or Jordan to Kobe, Kobe to LeBron, LeBron to, if you want to say Wemby, and whomever else, Wemby, Jokic, or Ant-Man, you know what I'm saying? It's different times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, entertainment is entertainment. That's the thing about entertainment. It's a challenge, to maintain such standard for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And then the NBA itself, it grew to this big global, entity. You know what I'm saying? So now, how do you expect them to do going forward? You know what I'm saying? For me, I'm just happy it's over. Second half, let's go. Knicks, I'm glad the moves they made. Do I feel it's contender like? Yeah. In the East, yeah. Do I feel it's going to be a challenge to beat somebody in the West if that happens? But, those type of moves are what separate pretenders from contenders.
Exactly. That was a big pickup for the York Knicks. While we're on the subject again, Jose Alvarado, the kid from Christ the Kings. That was a
Yeah,
big
and
pickup. And he put up 26 points and knocked out 8 threes coming off the bench of the blowout win against the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Knicks, yeah, they've won the NBA Cup. Okay, nice. But they had a little bit of a free fall in the month of January until all the players came back and everybody got healthy. And then and then went back to win again, aside for the loss against the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. And inevitably, they should have now lost that game. But
right.
but that was the wake up call they needed when they bounced back and blew out the Philadelphia 76ers before the All Star break. But
And
yeah,
the Jeremy Sochan pickup. That was, oof, oh my God. I never screamed so loud. I was at work with the students and I saw that. I was like, oh snap. I was like, wow, we did that. Mind you, this kid was a lottery pick. This kid was a top 10 lottery pick. And now the Knicks got him. So I'm with it. I'm with it. I can't wait.
mm-hmm.
I
Now
can't.
we can look at the Knicks now. Are they one of the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference, or do you have a different team in mind?
For me right now, I feel Knicks are in the top three in the East. I definitely feel Detroit is no joke. I don't care about the suspensions, the games that they had and the fights that they do. They're no joke. You know what I'm saying? They're hungry pit bulls, hungry young pit bulls at that. That's the key thing at that. That are bringing the pain. They're with it. Um, Boston, believe it or not, Jalen Brown definitely should be in MVP conversations. I don't care what anybody says. Jalen Brown, look what you're
Head
doing.
down question. When Jason Taylor went out with that injury against the Knicks last year, he's been carrying the Celtics, making him a lot better than expected. These Boston Celtics just don't know how to miss the playoffs. I swear, they
Yeah,
don't.
not.
And
Yo,
Jalen Brunson's been, excuse me, I mean, Jalen Brown's literally been carrying the team averaging 30 points and about 8 rebounds. So I
and I
expect
got
nothing less from Jalen Brown, a former Finals MVP.
and I got another team. If they get it together and can probably slightly move up in the rankings or move up in the seedings, yo, them Charlotte Hornets, man.
Mm, you saw it,
Yo,
Chris. They got it together. I mean, I did not expect much from them. They just it's parallel to the Los Angeles Clippers when they started off like what 7-20 or something like that. I did not expect that.
yo, let them still get on this hot streak during the second. See, that's the thing. A lot of people be forgetting when it comes like with basketball. Baseball is kind of different, and then football is well, mm, football doesn't really have that like switch like that. It's just straight the seasons. But basketball, listen, when you are a team going into All-Star break, and whether you're high on a roll or for a matter you were a team that struggled and then you just picked up the heat along the way, and then here comes All-Star break, and then from All-Star break you just continue that going. Yo, that's a scary team, son. That's a scary team, yo. And I with the Charlotte Hornets, believe it or not, you can say what you want about LaMelo Ball. Yo, the one thing about that young man, he gets it going in the clutch, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great
Canova,
pass first point guard that the Hornets actually need. And I'm not going to sleep on them if they win away to the playing tournament. The people talk about Detroit being a scary team with the best record. How about we don't talk enough about the Charlotte Hornets? I mean, yeah, don't even get me started that broad. I got to both the players for both teams get suspended and then lost. That ended what was like a 13-game winning streak, I believe, at the time. Don't even get me
right?
started on that because Charlotte is coming. They
Yeah,
might
nah,
get Detroit to run for their money.
nah. Them. Who else too? You could kind of say. Who else can you say low key in the East? Um, I would say Atlanta, but then Atlanta traded off Trey Young. That was kind of crazy. Um, but I don't know with that Cam Thomas pickup, Bucks. You could maybe I don't know, but right now for me, right now the four, the three, the top three plus the dark horse for me, it's Detroit, the top three, Detroit Knicks, Celtics, oh Philly too, yeah. Oh, let's not sleep on Philly. If Philly gets healthy, That's I'm a little timid by them. VJ Edgecombe and that Maxi combo is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. I know.
And
I
you got
mean,
and with the healthy Embiid, yo, and Paul George too. Paul George is healthy. He's been facilitating. You can say what you want. He may not be playoff P, but his facilitating is a huge addition to those two young guns right there. So
mm-hmm.
so
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't,
that one season where the Sixers didn't really do much well, do all that well. It really helped when he got a dude named VJ Emsco. The guy's a baller. And
God,
he has the ability. He has he really create his own shots, right? And take it to the rack. He has
create on
that
shots,
whole defensive
goes to the rack,
mentality.
plays defense, could shoot, has no fear. His change of speed is crazy. His dribble package, yo, this that the hezzy and the ka, and just lifts, and it's this to the rim. Mm. Yeah, yeah, oof. Yeah. You got Philly to the dark horses as well for me. That's what I see right now for me. The West, the West is the West. The West is potent. The West is jam packed. To besides the champs, OKC, you can say Timberwolves, you can say Denver Timberwolves, um, the Spurs. They if they can keep it together, you know what I'm saying? Real shit.
Mm-hmm. Definitely real. It's one of those craziest things I've ever seen basketball. Well, that'll do for this episode. Nothing but a source. Well, that'll do for this episode. Nothing but that sports. I think it's up by Kareem Tyson Remo. Love the work you do. I can't wait to see you do more with cuts, and can't wait to see you pull up the more movie premieres. That was a good experience you had a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, yes, indeed, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to my man RX Superstar. He always hits me up, tells me to come pull up and stuff like that. And yeah, man. Yeah, that's just the speed I'm at with the brand right now. Just acting, the podcasting, and just being at movie premieres. And that's about it. Who knows? I don't know when another time House of Highlights would have me on. I mean, that'd be great. I don't know. But you know, I'm just blessed at the end of the day. I'm just blessed for what's happening. I'm blessed for, the work that I've done over the years, and blessed for people like you who are continuously bringing me on their platform to speak, my story, speak my journey, and speak my truth. That's it.
Mm-hmm. For Kareem Tyson Remo, Rafika was on. We'll see you next time.
All right, man. You already know. Peace, man.